Today we're getting into Vanilla Fudge with Keep Me Hanging On. Vanilla Fudge is coming to the channel for the first time with this one, and this performance is going to be on the Ed Sullivan Show. So this performance, I think, is going to be a little bit shorter. The single version that they released wasn't the same as the full album version, which is like 7.5 minutes long. But apparently this is a really renowned performance that like 50 million people watched, and people had said that it was one of the best performances on the Ed Sullivan Show ever, and we've done some great performances ourselves on that. So
yeah, and this song did really well in general. It went to number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100 when it came out in 1967, and it was a cover of the Supremes. Their version came out, well, their original version came out in 1966. This was only a year later.
Yeah, so we can't take credit for coming to Vanilla Fudge for the first time here, because we've got another sponsored video from Buffalo Bill. Or Wild Bill, or Bill, whatever you prefer, guys. Let's just give a shout out down low to Bill in the comments section. And Bill picked this one for me. This is dedicated to me. Thanks so much, Bill. And he said so because we did Sweet Ballroom Blitz, and in that one I must have said, I don't recall this, but clearly Bill was watching some older reactions, and he said in that one, you seemed to indicate that you really, really liked the drums, or that was at least what I was giving the vibe off of.
Talk about the twirling drumsticks.
I had made mention that they're twirling the drumsticks in that one. And so Bill came back with this one here, and maybe we might get an experience of twirling some drumsticks on this as well. So thanks, Bill, so much. I appreciate this time for me, because so often people are dedicating songs to Sam or saying Sam is going to probably like this one. So I'm glad I'm included. I feel included in the group on this one.
Yeah, even it out a little bit.
So we've obviously experienced so much dynamic music throughout, the 60s and the 70s. And what Bill was saying was that, this group here is traditionally more of the psychedelic rock, progressive rock vibe, which usually in the 60s and 70s would be more of like the album side of things. It wouldn't be
full
like
listening experience of the whole thing front to back type thing.
Yeah, not about like chart topping singles. Yeah. Right. So then this group, apparently what happened with them is they did this song as a cover of the Supremes, like Sam said, and they it led to their own demise in a sense. Apparently this is what we got, because the vibe that we got, because then people just wanted more covers from them. Yeah. Instead of their own original material.
Yeah, which kind of probably backfired on them, which sucks a little bit. But
yeah, and they disbanded in like 1970. So
yeah, shortly after.
They weren't around that long, but it's kind of wild when you think about how renowned this performance apparently was. Like 50 million people watching at that time, I feel like is a lot of people.
When we read that, I was like, whoa.
Yeah. So
for that time period.
Yeah. So anyways, is there anything else you want to add, or am I just going to keep rambling on?
I think I'm ready to get into it.
All right, let's go. That's an interesting stage setup.
Very psychedelic,
still
funky.
Psychedelic. He's swirling the drumsticks, all right.
Set me free, I told
he's certainly beating the shit out of those drums.
He definitely is.
He's going a little wild, isn't he, Bill?
Yeah, I have so many thoughts about this. First, I feel like this sounds somewhat familiar to me, but not at the same time. And we were reading that the Supremes original version has more of like an upbeat, happy sound to it.
Yeah.
And I feel like I might be familiar with that version from being like used in movies and stuff like that. So it's like, it's this weird kind of feeling for me because I'm like, it sounds familiar, but it's completely different at the same time because this definitely has that heavier, like more emotionally resonant sound to it. And we were reading that, the band felt like the song or the original song, like for the lyrics, that the song was a little bit too happy sounding and they wanted to make it a little bit more heavier and a little bit more reflective of the lyrics. And I definitely get that in this.
Well, there's a reason why it's familiar, Sam. It's because we have done this song before.
Oh, that's where I know it from then. Yeah, no, I was just saying it sounds kind of familiar.
Yeah, I think there's one song that we've done from the Supremes, and I didn't recognize the title when I was reading it because it was a while ago.
It was a while ago, yeah.
But then, like you said, it sounds familiar to me. So yeah, we've done that one song from the Supremes. We haven't got into much from them, and I think you guys were saying that we should get into more. But anyways, coming back to what you were saying is the idea that you're transforming this song that's like got a Motown essence, and it still has a little pinch of that in the hook, I feel like. But it's so different in the delivery because if I recall, it was like a little more fun and upbeat sounding.
Yeah.
And this is like, I don't want to say darker, but it's like more hard hitting.
Well, it feels like how you would actually,
resonant.
To me, it feels more of like how you would be feeling if you were actually going through this situation, right? Like it sounds like somebody that you love is leaving you, right? So like to me, like happy isn't really the sound that I would associate with that.
Yeah. So what I was going to say too was really interesting dynamic from the sense of, we're talking about the 60s, 66. I think they're performing this in 68, right? So you see the vibe from the fashion, and even the psychedelic feel from the backdrop there. And but this sound doesn't really play into anything that I feel like we've experienced in the maybe a few, like, I don't know, 10 years after would be something maybe I'd think of. But it does feel like this is almost transitional into what maybe came about more in the 70s. So very interesting because like there was so much creativity as we've experienced in the 60s and the 70s.
Yep.
And particularly in the 60s, it was like, hippie vibes, obviously. And that has like, so what I'm saying, it has essence of that with like the way they look and what we're seeing visually, but the sound isn't giving me that
no,
at
it's
all.
way heavier than that. And the last thing I'll say is that like their animated stage presence is also so entertaining, which is like how like into it they are.
All right, let's keep going. was so wild. And I felt like that kept getting better and better. Like I felt like I was getting more and more into the song as it kept going on. And the reason why I started saying it was wild is because to think about, I'm placing myself in the position of the listener at this time, watching Ed Sullivan in the moment at this time. And I can only imagine what that viewer or listener was thinking. Wait a second, they're going to cover the Supremes? Like, how are they going to do that?
Yeah.
And then they come out and they perform something like this, which just sounds like the original, like you wouldn't think this is a cover, but the fact that it's a cover of a Motown song and they made it sound like this is insane to me. It's really wild. So I can see why it's so renowned, and love the energy that they brought. I can see why Bill was saying we got to check out the drummer, because he was crushing it, and he was definitely twirling those drumsticks. Let me tell you,
he really was.
And I loved even the camera work, like focusing in on him, because they could see that he was doing his thing, and the passion that they all showed as performers. They could tell they were having a lot of fun. But it was creative and very unique. I enjoyed it. And like I said, I would say this probably also would have been like a whoa moment for people listening, in the sense that they maybe hadn't heard this style of music that much before.
Yeah, for sure. I even honestly, like when we paused before and once we got into the back half, I had to remind myself that this was a live performance. Like in my head, I almost felt like it was a music video, because there was so much going on the stage, and like you said, the camera cuts and the angles and how good it sounds and like how animated they are. It was almost like in my head I was thinking, like, because you do music videos and it's almost like a mock of a live performance.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what in my brain I like had forgot, like, no, this is actually like this was being televised and was live, which is crazy. And you talked a lot about the drummer, and I thought he was great and obviously very entertaining. But the guy on the keys and the vocalist also, like, yep. I was like, this guy is going ham.
I agree. Yeah. So let us know if this brought back memories for you from Vanilla Fudge. I can't say I've heard that name before, and I can't say I've ever had it before in terms of Vanilla Fudge. But if you guys maybe listened to them when you were growing up and you forgot about them, make sure you drop a comment and give a shout out to Bill, and tell him thanks for
hype him up in those comments.
Put it back on your radar. And maybe if you've got friends or family members too, you want to share this with them and bring back memories for them. Oh yeah, I remember this group, man. Remember where you were when you were watching this show. And that's what we'd love to do on our channel, is bring back memories and nostalgia, and at the same time experience for the first time for us. So like I said, make sure you give a shout out to Bill, hit the like button, make sure you drop a comment, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Anything else they should do, Sam?
Make sure you have a great day.
We'll see you on the next video.